in 2013, going to 14, President Barack Obama signed that executive order asking NIST to draft the cybersecurity framework, also known as a CSF, cybersecurity CSF, cybersecurity framework. And the first framework only had these 5 kind of categories. It has identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. These were like the original things. Then coming up in 2023, going to 2024, they added governance in the second version of this framework. So what does this framework do? Well, this framework helps us answer the questions of what are we doing? How are we doing it? Where do we want to go? And when do we want to get there? You're like, what does that exactly mean? What that means is when you're looking at securing the organization, the first thing you want to know is identify. Identify the critical hardware, critical software that your company depend on, critical processes, critical people. Basically, going in, you're identifying what we normally call people, process, and technologies, right? You're identifying those critical things that if they're not there, your company is going to have to shut down. Very, very important. Once you know what that is, you will try to protect it. You will put some measures in place to protect that. For example, if you identify this human is very valuable to the organization, well, what would you do? Maybe if you know that Cedric is very valuable to this company, let's give him more money. Let's make sure he don't leave. He don't go to the competition. So that's the protection. Now, that's for the people part of things. But what about the technology? Well, in the technology, we can put firewalls in place. Firewalls. We can put an IPS, intrusion prevention systems in place. We can put an AV, antivirus programs. We can do EDR, endpoint detection and response, just to give you a few. These are the technology we'll put in place in order to protect that which is valuable to the organization. Okay. And obviously, we want to protect and protect and protect. But the hard truth is that bad things will get in. No matter how hard you try, better things will get in. Okay. When bad things gets in, you want to detect them as soon as you can. That's where the detection comes in. There is a research from that organization that I talked about earlier, Mandiant. Mandiant goes out and they do a research. They call this M-Trend, the M-Trend report. The Mandiant company that I was telling you about, they do a research every year, and they publish the report. Let's see if I can find a PDF. There we go. This could be the PDF. There we go. And that's the 2025. So this is a very respected research in our industry. It's based on the data, meaning all the incidents they've responded to around the world. And then they come back and they tell us, hey, here is what we've seen in the wild. So one of the things they track is what they call a dwell time. And dwell, let me see if I'll find that. There we go. There we go. This is the global dwell time. Okay. And these are the amount of days, right? Amount of days, number of days the attacker is present in your environment without you knowing that they're there. That's really what dwell time means. Now, on average, globally, they start tracking this like, 10, 15, some years ago. And it used to be 460 days. 460 days. It went down to 146, and that's only if external people, basically other company you work with, they tell you about it. And but in 2014, it has went down to 11 days. Okay, these are the amount of days, many days, that the bad guys are in your environment before you can detect them. They can steal all your data. They sure can. There's some attacks where they were able to steal data within 24 hours. So they don't need 10 days. Within 24 hours, data was leaving company. But this give us, if we go back to this right here, I showed you that because we're talking about detection. Most of the time, we usually want to do this. We want to protect, right? Protection is ideal. It's not from me, it's from the SANS instructors. They usually say protection is ideal, but detection is a must. We want to protect everything. We want to make sure these organizations are fully protected, but bad things will get in. When those bad things gets in, we want to detect them as soon as we can. So detection is a must. Okay, those 10 days, some bad person in your environment doing God knows what, it's unacceptable. We got to be able to detect them as soon as we can. Okay, you're like, well, what kind of technology can we use here then? Well, you can use a CIEM, Security Information and Event Management, right? Like Splunk, Elk. This is known as Elastic Stack. It's free, it's open source, it's really good. They have quite a few of them. Microsoft have their own, they call it Sentinel.
Sentinel.
Yeah,
Sentinel.
yep, Sentinel. Google have their own, and there's a lot of them out there. Anyway, their job is to detect things. IDS, it's literally in the name, detection systems, intrusion detection system. It's to keep an eye on the entire environment and then let us know when they detect bad things. Okay, once we detect bad things, we have to respond. Okay, response, that's where we go in and we do something about it. We're like, oh, the bad guys are here. Well, what do we do? Step one, isolate the computers. Step two, unplug them from the power. Shut them down. All right. Step three, let's get the instant response team in place. All right. Step four, let's get the forensic people to try to analyze and do. This is the response. This is where the incident response team is going to be. All right. And five, recovery. This is recovering. If they manage to make any damages within the organization, we recover from it. So this is where the backups will come in. We have things at in the backups, so we restore things from the backups. That's all part of the recovery. Now, like I said, the first version only had these, but the second one now has governance. And you can see governance is all around it because it touches each one of these. Because the governance, it's all about providing the guidance, the strategic leadership that cybersecurity needs. We get that from governance. I didn't mention that prevention is ideal, but detection is a must. That's very important for you to remember. So this is that cybersecurity framework categories and their functions. You can see governance. Its function is organizational context, risk mitigation and strategies, roles and responsibilities, and policies and oversight. Remember, governance is here to give us the guidance that we need, right? Identify, we're going in and we're doing the asset management, identify the kind of critical devices that we have on our environment. All right, we're going in, we're looking at we're doing some risk assessment as a part of the identification phase. Protect, we're going in and we're putting some protection in place, including security awareness. Believe it or not, training people, making them aware it is part of protecting the organization. Detect, we talked about, it's all about monitoring, adding CIEM into place. Respond, it's all about incident responder. And the recover, it's about recovering from the incident. Remember that for your exam.